Chapter 86. Sir. You're here. Upon seeing Drive, Rowan cross, Ross was stunned. He rushed to greet the older man with respect. At that moment, he looked very humble. Sir. Could it be, this person is the great Drive? Cross. After learning the identity of the older man, the Nicholson family members were excited. They surrounded him, trying to gain his favor. Oh my. What an honor to meet the great Drive. Cross in person. I've heard a lot about you, Dr. Cross. I'm so lucky to meet you. Everyone chimed in, praising the doctor. One should know that this doctor was well known across the 7 seas. Not only was he good at curing others, but he also had a vast network of connections and was incredibly influential. Just a word from him could change one's life. Dr. Cross, aren't you resting? Why are you here? The doctor asked curiously. A friend called me saying you were messing around with a patient. Did such a thing happen? Replied Rowan Ross. He was not happy. Earlier that day, he had received a call from his biggest savior. He was so happy that he rushed to the hospital as fast as possible. A friend. Everyone exchanged glances before looking at Matt. In their eyes, only someone noble could be considered a friend of Dr. Cross. In this room, Matt was the only person noble enough. Dr. Cross, I've heard a lot about you. At that moment, Matt suddenly stepped forward and introduced himself. I'm Matt Laney, from Millsburg. I believe you've met my father. Oh. Rowan replied softly. He scanned the room as if looking for something. He did not even spare Matt a glance. Shot down by the doctor's cold response, Matt fell silent awkwardly. Sir. Have you lost something recently? Ross asked. Lost something? Rowan raised his eyebrow. What do you mean? Earlier, someone here stole your antidote. Luckily I noticed in time and stopped him so that you won't suffer any losses. The doctor said excitedly. Hexanavir was his mentor's most prized treasure. Now that he had helped return it, he would surely be rewarded. Stole my antidote. Who? Rowan was puzzled. It's him. Exclaimed the doctor as he pointed to someone behind Rowan. He's the one who stole your Hexanavir. He even babbled on about how you gave it to him as a gift. Thankfully I'm smart enough to see through his lies. Otherwise, he would have run off with the antidote. Dr. Cross. Dustin's actions have nothing to do with us. If you want to get him, just get him. It is none of our business. That's right. Hurry and get rid of him. The Nicholson family was afraid to get in trouble, so they all started pointing fingers at the culprit. However, no one expected the dark cloud that fell across Rowan's face. Dustin, what are you still waiting for? Hurry and return the antidote and apologize. If you're lucky, Dr. Cross might forgive you. Dahlia started sending him signals. Although she hated his actions at times, she still felt bad for him when he found himself in bad situations. Bastard. You're done for. You dare steal my mentor's treasure. No one can save you today. Ross sneered with a smug look as if he had won. One should know that although his mentor was kind and forgiving, he was serious when it came to medicine. There was no way he would let Dustin off easily for stealing his antidote. Dr. Cross, you've done a great job teaching your apprentice. Since this antidote is so precious, I'll return it to you. Dustin pulled out the bottle of Hexanavir and threw it over to Rowan. Rowan almost collapsed in shock. However, Ross still had not grasped the situation and continued mocking Dustin. Bastard. Now you're scared. Why didn't you do this earlier? Even if you return it now, it's too late. I want you to kneel and apologize. Maybe then I'll let you go. The doctor with glasses exploded, his head held high. Shut up. At that moment, Rowan's patience had run out, and he slapped Ross across the face with all his might. Ross fell to the ground with a loud smack. He felt like he had dislocated his head. Blood started to flow from his nose. Sir. Why did you hit me? He's the one you should hit. Ross asked, stunned as he held his face, not understanding what he did wrong. His master had slapped the wrong person. You dare disrespect Mr. Rhys. You're the one who should be slapped. Rowan bellowed in a fit of rage. He lifted Ross to his feet and slapped him several more times. Ross's face turned a darker purple with every slap. Even his teeth started falling out. Everyone was confused at this scene. What is going on? Shouldn't drive Cross be lashing out at Dustin? Why is he hitting his apprentice? Everyone wondered. You imbecile. Brainless scum. Who gave you the guts to disrespect Mr. Rhys? I'll beat you till you come to your senses. Rowan roared as he kept hitting with no mercy. If Dustin hadn't stepped up to stop Rowan, Ross wouldn't have survived. After all these years, Rowan had been searching for Dustin so that he could repay him for his kindness. And now that they had finally met in person, it should have been a momentous occasion. However, his failure of an apprentice disrespected and openly mocked his greatest savior. He was clearly looking for a beating. After letting out his anger, Rowan presented the bottle of hexanavir to Dustin and said, Mr. Rhys, I'm terribly sorry. It's my fault for not training him well enough that you had to go through all that. Please forgive me. He fell to his knees in front of Dustin. Seeing Rowan kneeling before the man, everyone was stunned into silence. Their eyes widened with shock as if they had seen a ghost. The Great Drive. Cross is kneeling and apologizing to a nobody. What in the world is happening? Everyone wondered.